This is Dr. Cecily. Welcome to my channel. I'm down here in Cobb County, Georgia. You know, the runoffs, the Senate runoffs, you know, Ossoff and Warnock won. Yay. Now, I just want to tell you what the climate is down here and what's been going on. As you know, Trump called Raffensperger, the Secretary of State, Brad Raffensperger, and asked him to give him, really threatened him, 11,780 votes. You could see how the hate is destroying the Republican Party from the inside out. You know, he's came against Brian Kemp. He said he regret that he even endorsed him, and he also came against Gabriel Sterling. Now, we know that his lies about him winning the election was the cause, and him having that parade, that rally earlier in the day when he said that he was counting on Pence, that either Pence will be a patriot or he will be the other P. I'm not going to say it, repeat it. The point is this: the people, whatever amount that was, 30,000 people, whatever, they marched and they intruded, and I don't call them just, they're not patriots, and they're not demonstrators, and they're not protesters. I'm going to call it what it is, because as a Black American woman, as a former law enforcement sheriff and sergeant, I realized that this is America. So for the Republicans to holler and scream saying, "Oh, we don't want to do anything. We don't want to impeach him because they'd be further divided." We already know if you're brown, you're Hispanic, you're poor and white, you know that America is divided. And these were not protesters. This was Trump's attempt to overthrow the government. In fact, this is insurrection, it's sedition, and it's treason. He should be charged with all of the above because he came against the people's vote and the will of the people. After he had exercised all his due process in the state, local, and federal court, which he has a right to do. And he lost all 40 cases. And remember, those courts were packed with his own party, Republicans. So what does this mean for Georgia? What does this mean for America? This means that, first of all, everybody that came to the Capitol that was inside that building that can be identified should be labeled as domestic terrorists. And they should be on the domestic terrorist no-fly list. They shouldn't be able to fly back and forth because these people were found with, not only did they find pipe bombs in the RNC, but the DNC. And do you think, reading the initial police reports, people will do things? It doesn't take much for people to do something like in that chaotic, in that wild situation. Now, it's so similar to me that Trump had all the alt-right groups. He had all the hate groups. He had the Ku Klux Klan. He had the Proud Boys. And he had other people. But these people were based on his lie that he won the election and that the election was stolen. So these people were on these operating out of fear and were operating under the fact that he lied to them. The same thing with Hitler. Hitler lied to the people. As far as I'm concerned, when they had the immigrants, when they had the Hispanics, immigrants in cages and separated them from took the mothers away from their babies. And even the DOJ said, the Department of Justice said that some of these kids were raped. And there's still 500 families, Hispanic families, immigrants that cannot locate their children. So you telling me they were not coming after the black person? They were not coming after the yellow person? They weren't coming after the poor and the white person? Yes, they were. So let's call it what it was. It was an attempt to overthrow the government based on his lies. And he did those lies out of the people thought that something was taken away when actually it was a Jim Crow attempt. He was trying to take the black votes away. But see, he underestimated the black people, that they want to get out and vote in numbers. And that's why, America, we need to have the mail-in ballots. Because why do we have one system to vote in one day when people are working? People, not only are they have to work, especially for poor people or for people middle class. Not only do they have to work, but they have to go and help with the children. So why is it that we got millions of people and we got the same system of voting one day? It does not make any sense. We need to mail-in votes. So we see Trump with his hate. He's attacked his own. He has attacked Brian Kemp. He's threatened his family. He's attacked Brad Raffensperger. He's attacked Gabriel Sterling. And we need laws to turn down this rhetoric. Even, I think her name, Representative Republican Lisa Green. And you see how the hate is like cancer, is destroying within. Oh yeah, we already divided. In fact, it seems like there's going to be 3 parties. There's going to be Democrats, it's going to be Trumpism, and it's going to be the Republicans. It already has happened. Now, for the Republicans to be hiding under, and remember, these people knew, as far as the cops, I wouldn't get the cops that was open up the gate. If I seen 30,000 people coming at me, I'm not going to let them run. I probably will open up the gate too. Take pictures too. No, get the top. See, they want to blame it on the Capitol Police, but it's Trump's fault. And if I was Republican or Democrat, I would come after Trump when he becomes a civilian. Oh, yes, because he's not going to do no jail time. No, it's a pay-to-play system. So he has money, so he's going to pay his way out of it. But there is a strategy. He got 70 million people to help him pay for everything that he comes in contact with in terms of a lawsuit. Now think about it. This is no different from Hitler. He wanted to be a king. He wanted to be a dictator. He said that all the time. He said he's going to run a 3rd and 4th term. What they tell you? When he said it's going to be wild, every police force should have been there. In fact, they should have been calling the National Guard then. Now, I know Pence knew. You know why Pence knew? Because Pence had his family in there. And he was 100 feet away from his family. But see, Trump has turned on everybody. So why do you think Pence went back to the White House? Because if that mob got a hold in there and got wild, everybody would have been dead. They said it. They said kill them all. So why would the Republicans go back? Why would they go back and still not want to impeach Trump? Talking about we don't want to be no further divided. We're already divided. You 150 Republicans, because he has to be held accountable. And for that young lady here in Kennesaw, she was 35 years old, that was carrying that snake flag. It said, "Don't tread on me." It's yellow with a snake coil. It started with Benjamin Franklin. It represented the 13 colonies. It just happened that flag, I'm sorry, they said, well, it's not associated with, it's still associated with the 13 colonies. But I'm telling you what I see down here in Cobb County in Georgia. That snake is usually the next symbol I see in somebody's car. When they have that "Don't tread on me," they have the Confederate flags. I'm sorry. It is connected with alt-right groups, with Proud Boys and Ku Klux Klan, and conspiracy, QAnon, conspiracy theories. And this is the same thing that Hitler did, except Hitler had a military. And what Trump did, he just used the citizens, the same citizens that used to go in and get black people that were accused falsely of crimes, and they used to go in, break into jails, and hang them. They was going to hang Pence. Yes, they was. So why did he go back? Because Pence is looking at being the president. And what Trump really hates now, he's messed it up for Ivanka. Because Ivanka is like the Lincoln Project. You have to look at that. Because Georgia is watching. Georgia is watching Republicans. We're watching you, Republicans. And for that Republican Lisa Green, how can you sit and say those foul things to Gabriel Sterling, the operating chief for the Secretary of State here in Georgia? How can you say those foul things? And you have first-term Republicans. You're teaching them to be foul. No, we need to come down on this rhetoric. We need to come on down on this language. And we need to hold Donald Trump responsible. He needs to be held accountable. Justice do matter. Because if you don't, I knew when I see those kids, those Hispanic children in them cages, all I can think about is slavery. All I can think about was Hitler. This was call it what it was. It was a insurrection of the government against we the people, the will of we the people, for the people, and by the people. And what Trump tried to do, he did a Jim Crow. He tried to throw out millions of black voters. He came after Detroit, he came after Atlanta, and he came after Philadelphia and some more other. So the battle key states, you better have some police officers at your capital. Don't think they're not coming from Georgia. Trump has already threatened everybody down here, his own people. And he put all those Republicans and those Democrats' life in danger. He has to be held accountable. This is about democracy. We need to come and close this. And first, he need to pay for everybody down there that has to have some kind of psychological evaluation or some kind of counseling. He needs to pay for it. And in fact, he needs to pay for their bodyguard. In fact, the young woman that was traded upon and the officers, they need to come after Trump. You need to come after him. He needs to be named in that lawsuit, including with the police officers that did not. Because as far as I'm concerned, you knew who Trump was. You 70% senators of Republicans. You 70% of evangelicals. Because they're coming after you next. The corporations got to see you because you're the ones that still on YouTube talking about Trump won the election. And the election was fair and square. And he contested it on every level, state, federal, and Supreme Court. And he lost all of them. And so they need to come after those evangelicals. I ain't going to say the name. I thank God that Bette Morrison and Pat Robertson came forward. But see, you came forth when you knew the Titanic was already sunk. But this is America. This is America. And so we have to come and we got to close. Because see, what he's mad about now, he done messed up Ivanka. Ivanka wanted to run for president. And she's just another replica of Donald, her father, Donald Trump, the 45th president. She's a replica of him, but she's a more refined one. So whoever's coming up, we want to know what their beliefs in, who they support, who's funding them, and they need to take away from the fundings from these evangelicals. And I'm talking about the ones that they're talking about fight, the ones that want to keep on this propaganda and these lies, make people think that their vote was stolen. That's why they did that. But it was Trump's plan to do a coup. He did an insurrection, a sedition, a treason. He's a treasoner. He's treason. He should be charged with treason and sedition. And those people should be charged. They should be on a no domestic fly zone. So here we're down in Georgia, and we're waiting for the next step. And I'm done with this. And I will talk more about the people that they found they found like 5 or something people. I won't talk more about it. You can get it on the news. But the guy with the zip ties, him and her mother was from Georgia. The lady with the flag, my condolences go out to her family. It's because of Trump, because of his words. That's why we need to come by. All our avenues of the justice system, the Supreme Court, the federal court, the Secretary of State, the electoral votes, all those electoral people that was in charge of the electoral counting of the votes and the counting of the votes, all those norms and traditions we had in place were being tested. So no, Trumpism is here to stay. People are going to still operate in hate. They're going to still think that their vote is stolen. So no, we got to be on alert, people. We got to be on alert, America. It's for America. And what Trump failed to realize, that there were some people that believed in the Constitution. That some of his people in his party believe in we the people, for the people, and by the people. So I'm praying for America. For America, please pray for America. And pray for our troops. God bless.